What's up, Bears fans? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. We have an Ian Cunningham update as the Bears assistant GM completed his in-person interview with the Jags on Wednesday. All kinds of rumors flying around. Is he going to get that job? Is he not? We're going to dive into that. We kind of have some national reporters on each side of the fence on whether or not they think he's going to get the gig or not. So let's do that right off the top here. Jordan Schultz, Fox Sports NFL insider, says the Jaguars remain the NFL's only team without a general manager. Combine starts next week, by the way. My sense all along that this is Ian Cunningham's job to lose. The Bears assistant GM, a two-time finalist for the Titans role, has won Super Bowls with both Baltimore and Philadelphia. One league source described Cunningham as having, quote, exactly the type of temperament and scouting background teams want these days. He's obviously been a valuable lieutenant under Ryan Poles, his right-hand man. He's been finalists for other jobs, Tennessee twice, and I think he would have had the Cardinals job a couple years ago, but he turned down that opportunity. Just from a timeline standpoint, the Jags got to get someone in place by this weekend. The Combine starts Tuesday, basically, with players arriving and starting to do their measurables and all of that. So I think he or whoever they hire could be hired at any moment. And obviously, if they do hire someone externally, then that person has to try and put together a staff pretty quickly, not necessarily by the Combine, but shortly thereafter. So the Jags are certainly behind the eight ball because they decided to keep Trent Baalke for 3 weeks after the season and then ultimately decide to fire him because they realized we're not going to get a coach we want if we go that route. Mike Florio is on the opposite end of Jordan Schultz. He does not necessarily think that Ian Cunningham is going to get this job. He hopped on 670 at the Score today and said, quote, I think the assistant GM, which is Ethan Waugh, in Jacksonville is going to get bumped up, and I think the rest of it is just for show. I think it's going to be a promotion, so I think Cunningham is going to be with the Bears until next year. Now, obviously, if Cunningham lands the Jags GM job, as we've discussed several times now, the Bears get 2 third-round compensatory draft picks. One this year, one next year. The advantage of that, of course, is just extra capital, extra chess pieces to draft players, move up in the draft, use them in a trade, whatever the case may be. Most draft analysts think day 2 is the sweet spot this year. So I've been in favor of rooting for Ian to get this job. A, because I think he's a good exec and deserves an opportunity. But B, I do think this would be a good offseason to get those picks started because, A, this is a big offseason for player acquisition for the Bears. And B, I think getting that third-round pick this year is just even more valuable, especially since the Bears don't currently have a 4th-round pick. So it kind of gives you another pick in that range to help you in this draft. What say you if you had to predict it right now? Will Ian Cunningham get the Jags GM job? Type Y for yes, he will, or type N for no, he won't. It'd be interesting to see if he gets offered the job and then decides to pass on it like he did with Arizona. But for now, as we're filming this on Thursday afternoon, we do not have official word. How about this name in NFL free agency? I was looking around for some stories. It's kind of quiet today. I was like, you know what? Let's see what, kind of cheaper receivers are out there on the market if they do let Keenan Allen walk. And a guy we haven't talked about that I thought popped late in the year was Dyami Brown. I'll be honest. I did not realize he's already 4 years into his career. The Commanders' impending free agent. Obviously, you look at his career numbers. Nothing jumps off the page, right? He certainly had his best year this year with Jaden Daniels, which is promising for him to, get at least some money in NFL free agency. I don't think any team's going to break the bank for Dyami Brown, but he popped in the postseason. And I thought he played better down the stretch as well. I mean, he kind of was their number 2 receiver late in the year, especially in the playoffs. 16 yards a catch. And this is only 2 playoff games, by the way, so average over 100 yards a game, 14 catches in those games. This is not just a guy who was like a role player in the playoffs. This is like a real high-level starter for what they were doing in Washington. Now, can this carry over? Can he be like a legit 2 or even a 3 on a 17-game basis? Well, you don't need a 2 because you have DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, but I do wonder if the Bears kind of go with a big 2 of Moore and Odunze and then just kind of like a receiver by committee approach after that. Let these guys duke it out for wide receiver 3. Don't invest a lot of money there. Get a few guys, maybe a Tim Patrick as well, follows Ben Johnson from Detroit. Maybe you draft somebody in the 3rd round or on day 3, Tyler Scott in there as well. And hey, let the best man win. You got 3 or 4 guys sitting behind your top 2, and maybe it's a different man each week. I don't hate the idea if they want to go in that direction, because I do want to get Cole Kmet back more involved. I think he kind of becomes your de facto third guy anyway. And we know in a Ben Johnson offense, they're going to throw the ball to the running backs, especially if DeAndre Swift is here. We know he catches the ball well. So I don't mind Dyami Brown on as a cheap one-year deal to be a number 3, number 4 type of option, depth piece for this offense. I mean, get him for, I don't know, $4 million. I don't think it's going to cost that much. So I'm kind of in on this. I kind of talked myself into it because, A, it's not going to cost a lot, and B, he kind of showed some upside. We kind of finally saw what he's capable of in this playoff run the Commanders had. What say you? Should the Bears sign Dyami Brown? Type S for sign or P for pass. Give us your thoughts in the comment section down below when it comes to the free agent to be a wide receiver. All right, we do have some FGB t-shirts available right now. Chatsports.com/FGB. Look at the shirt I'm rocking. Not this one, although I do have this one, but it's Chicago Bears football and whoever plays Green Bay, baby. We hate the Green Bay Packers here on this channel. If you're a true Bears fan, you do as well. And if you want to represent, get yourself a shirt. Chatsports.com/FGB. Link is in the comments and description of this video. Okay, real quick before we get out of here on this segment, the Bears have announced their full coaching staff, so it has been finalized. No real new hires other than what we've already talked about here on the show. This is a photo from the Bears press release. So full staff is there. So if you want to screenshot it and kind of take a deeper dive on your own, feel free to do that. I think we covered all the last-minute hires, the promotion of Peter Notice, strength and conditioning, and a couple of quality control guys. So nothing really new in terms of that. We already knew who, obviously, the head coach, coordinators, major position coaches were. So it was kind of just dotting I's, crossing T's to finish out this staff. So the Bears coaching staff is set. And on paper, I think it's a pretty talented staff. I mean, you get a guy like Eric Bieniemy to be your running backs coach. He was getting head coach interviews a few years ago. You get Dennis Allen to run your defense. You get Al Harris, who's widely remarked as one of the best defensive back coaches in the game. Ben Johnson brings Antoine Randall down to be his assistant head coach and to work with the wide receivers. Like I think there's a lot to like here. Dan Rochar, the offensive line coach, comes with a lot of skins on the wall from his time with the Saints. So pretty excited. All we know is on paper right now, it's all projection until the games start. We're not going to know for sure, but you do feel pretty good about some of the names in that building working together to chase one goal. All right, if you're excited for the 2025 season, spam me down in the comments below. I can't wait for it to get started. Excited for the offseason first, don't get me wrong, but tell you what, once the draft is over and you get some of these OTAs going, I'm gonna get a little edgy, ready for training camp and the season to be here. So it'll be here before we know it, and we'll have you guys covered every step of the way. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. That way you never miss a video here on Chicago Bears Now. Content every single day. Hit that sub button.